Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to this episodes of today what are we doing on the Camaro, and what we're doing is I'm filming an intro. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, so this video here, I didn't necessarily put a lot of like content in this video as far as like a lot of little things. I'm just trying to get some good information out. Had a person hit me up about the cross member, so I made sure to get some information on the cross member and how I did it, what I did. The wiring, you'll see me messing with the wiring just a little bit. Well, actually, no, I didn't mess with it. I go over what I did, show you what I did. The motor is back in, as you see. We did attempt to fire it up. I'm going to make another video of us actually firing this video up, so this one won't include us firing it up. It will be, you mind? I'm filming a video. It will be just over some of the basics, getting ready to fire it up. As my previous videos, I've gone into some pretty good detail on the wiring harness and stuff like that. What I've been doing over the last couple days is just getting the motor back in there, getting the new mounts put in, all that stuff figured out. Like I said, we did attempt to fire it up. We had some issues. My next video, I will explain all the issues that I had and what we did to figure it out. So stay tuned for that one. But hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you do, please give me a thumbs up, give me some comments. If you have more questions, please ask them. I'm open to whatever y'all want. Give y'all any more information that I've done to this video or to this car and how I've done it. So stay tuned. Like I said, give me thumbs up, subscribe, like, comment, whatever. Take it easy. Alrighty folks, so here is another update to this video. Got pretty much all the wiring routed how it's going to go, got all that figured out. I put red tape on the connector because the other day I started the turned the power on and got it to prime. Here is my fuse block, fuse panel. I'm not done with it. I just tied in a bunch of little leads for all the relays to go in. So this is my fuel pump relay. I pulled it so when we turn the key on it doesn't push fuel. The last thing I want is a bunch of fuel flying out. So got a bunch of little leads coming off here for power, and then I put a ground up in there, and that's where the ground is. And what happened to work out pretty good, that hole and that hole lines up perfect, so it sits right in there perfectly. So I got the rest of the wiring, all the wiring's done. There's my positive block. Just kind of have everything sitting here temporarily. All the wires I had previously ran, I soldered in yesterday, got that all figured out. Got my OBD put in. If y'all aren't aware of how to do the OBD, I can give you a quick rundown. So where the number 2 was, there's number 2. There was a purple wire. This isn't it. I don't know. I pulled it out. Here it is. No, that was out of the ECU. So I pulled the purple wire out and routed it to the green, and pulled the green wire out because it was in a spot that it wasn't going to get used. So I put it in here so it's green, so it colors match green for green, because out of the ECU is a green wire. So I figured might as well keep it simple. It was easy. Took me a couple extra minutes and got it done. And just routed a ground since there was a ground that's needed. You have 2 in the middle. Was it 5, 4 and 5? Come on, focus. 4 and 5 right there. They just tie together, put them in the ground. The orange, which if you get into these LS swaps, you'll know that orange is supposed to be constant power. So everything just kind of lines up pretty consistently, honestly. So the orange was already in place, and I just extended it with another orange wire, and I already had a bunch of orange wire. Well, I had 2 orange wires that needed constant battery, which I have back at the fuse block. That's always 12 volts. So there's the 2 orange ones that have constant 12 volts for the ECU. So I just went ahead and soldered that in there, did all that. I left me a little long. I left it a little bit long here so I can find a spot to mount it. I'm really don't want to mount it over there, so whenever I'm doing any kind of data logging, I don't have a wire around my foot, so I think I'm going to end up mounting it back under here or off on the side of the center console. So one of the two. But I left it long just so I can have my options open. And that's pretty much it. So the fuel pump works. Down the road, I want to work on getting the sending unit hooked up. I think I figured that part out. I do have the manual for it, so I'll have to figure that out. I'm hoping that that's just a one wire that I need to hook up. That way that's done. So today we're going to drop the transmission, get it out of the way, replace the master cylinder because mine was leaking on the backside. Get the motor in. Hopefully get the motor in. Sorry for that shot. That's like, get the motor in, get the flex plate on the engine, and paint the cross member and the torque arm. And we got a couple things to paint. Just rattle can them real quick so they got some paint on it. Alright, we'll see what happens.
We got 235. Huh? 235. Why didn't you tell us? 3.
Well, they're releasing us by
Yeah, they get out at 3. They have to stay a little extra. Teachers.
Oh, teachers. But he's talking about that's right.
Alright, make sure you get your hand out of there.
What the heck is that?
Huh? Yeah, it's a scratch on the lens. Look at the lens.
Oh.
It fell the other day and it fucked up the lens. Just to get a little bit of lighter weight out of this bitch. Alright, once I'm done with this, you can paint this next. cut this down a little bit too. Actually, what I do is cut it right around here and kind of come in.
What was that before?
I'm gonna say those plugs. Okay. All right.
One of the backpack.
Now put up underneath. And definitely make sure you get inside those holes.
Stock up and save big. Shop the semi-annual supplement sale at Whole Foods Market and get 25% off all supplements September 11 through 13 while supplies last.
Is that flat black? Yeah, looks like it.
You can find all sales on Whole Foods Market app.
Yeah, right here. Towards me. Nope, the other way. Keep going. There you go. Alright, so there's the torque arm. And then, I'm sorry, there's the cross member. Here's the torque arm. And then that just slides right in there. And that part right back there bolts up on your rear end. And then this is in here. I drilled some speed holes, lighten it up just a little bit, ground it down. So that's it. Like I said before, I just made my own bushing out of radiator hose. So cut it to length. You know, it's too big, so you have to cut it down to where it fits up inside there, and then added another one for that bolt to slip through. Put grease in there and everything else. So that's a bushing. Pretty simple. It's redneck engineering at its best. It'll hold up to whatever we throw at it. That's definitely the least of my worries. But you can see how I cut off the end. I used a hole saw to cut that off to cope it, so this fit in there pretty nice, and then just made sure it was fairly straight. And that's just gas pipe, some thick wall gas pipe. I have tons of it. I've collected it, scrapped pieces all over the place. So there you go. It's just normal gas pipe that they run in houses. I go through neighborhoods that are being built, and if they run gas in those neighborhoods, then there's tons of this in different diameters and everything. So I've got lots of scrap pieces, and it's thick, heavy stuff, as you can see. It's pretty thick. Bigger ones aren't as thick, but still strong. And that's also what I use to make my cross member out of. I cut those tabs off of one that was for a C10 swap, and then clocked it, you know, as to how they're different on both ends, and just welded them on there. Just box it in with some angle iron, welded it to it back there. There you go. That's all she wrote, folks. Alright guys, now I'm working on the shifter, trying to figure this out. I don't know what this material is made out of, but it's hard as hell. I cannot get a drill bit to bite into it to drill it out, because I'm trying to fabricate it to where the stock shifter will work the same. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is end up just welding it. I'm going to weld, what do I do with that piece? I'm just going to cut this off and weld this straight to it, because it's not, I can't drill it. So that way it's got the quick release pin. And this is a stock shifter. So I just got done putting this on, verified that it's reading all the locations. So there you go. That's what we're on next. I'm gonna end up modifying that bracket. I'll modify this bracket, probably cut it. What I'm gonna do is more than likely I'm gonna cut it here, and then depending on how close this has got to sit, mount it, re-weld it back up here wherever it's got to go. So that's what I'm gonna work on. Alright guys, I'm gonna give you a quick walk around on my little shifter bracket. One thing to know with this 3rd gen, I just looked at it, I was able to cycle through all the way to 3rd gear. I can't get all the way down to 1st gear, and mostly because these transmissions that were in here before were 3-speed transmissions. They were turbo 350s. So since this is a 4-speed, the detents don't line up with the detents in the on the shifter. So it looks like you can do some modification, shave a couple things, maybe make some grooves, and you might be able to get down into 1st gear if you really want to. Right now I'm not too worried about it. Mostly just want to put the thing in drive and drive it. So here's a quick walk around on what I did. So this was the stock shifter bracket. And it looks like a complete mess right now, but so what we did was cut off, if you'll recall, with these shifters you got this top piece, and then there's like a wedge that comes down to this piece, so it kind of wedges off. So we cut that off. Here's a backside view. Cut that off right about there because it came to about here and then angled down to this piece. So cut that off. Took a piece of flat iron, welded it to the backside because I believe if you have it going the same way that it was from the factory, which would be the other way around, it gets in the way of the connectors. So I did that first and realized it wasn't going to work. So flipped it around the backside and got everything kind of lined up, transmission in place, kind of put some lines, some marks on it, and tacked it into place the first time, and I was about that far too much forward, so that's why I went ahead and slid it back. So you can modify your bracket. It'll take a little bit of moving, a little bit of back and forth, but you should be able to figure it out and get it to work. Like I said, the detents for the shifter does not match the detent in the transmission correctly because it was a 3-speed and now we're going to a 4-speed. But it'll get you in drive, it'll get you in the 3rd, reverse, park, all that good stuff. And I verified that with HP tuners by hooking it up, because right now I can hook up, everything's hooked up, I can read the computer, and went through the gears and kind of seen where the detents were and how everything lined up. Alright guys, that's a quick walk around on my little shifter makeup, and hopefully down the road we'll be able to get full range, but we'll see. If not, I'll have to just spend some money and get an aftermarket one.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.